Tonight, Primetime returns to you from the modern-day Coliseum with an action-packed card that will be headlined by two of the most dangerous Xbox competitors on the scene today. Entering first, Brady, the young up-and-comer. Many people will say Brady still has lots to learn, but the young man is now a veteran of competition and has many years of knowledgeable fighting under his belt. His ferocious striking and ability to wrestle makes him a force to be reckoned with. But in order for Brady to be victorious tonight, he must defeat one man. Entering, the former champion BFAP Dirty Dave, a hellish wrestler. Some say the most dominant wrestler in the community today, and even though Dave is very young in age, his experience lends itself to him. He knows the patterns, he knows the game plan, he's one of the top tier competitors to date, and he looks to achieve greatness once again. With an action-packed card stacked top to bottom and a special appearance from none other than UFC fighter Terrence T-Rex McKinney as he faces BFAP Jakey blindfolded to raise awareness of Elsa's Eye Army. These guys are the real fighters of the world, and we're happy to be able to raise awareness for these true, real fighters. The cause worth fighting for. Welcome to Primetime.
What is going on, you beautiful bunch of savages? I am your host, as always, Cyrus the Looney. Joining us here for this historic card at Fight Night 57 is, of course, Doctor Who and the one and only Ginger. How you doing, lads?
How we doing? I'm ready for a great fight on night of fights. Prelims look stacked, main card looks stacked, and then obviously we got that amazing co-main event raising awareness. So it's gonna be a good night.
Yes, fantastic card all around. As Junior mentions, it's always nice to see a co-main. Always happy to support those charities. This card is stacked top to bottom here, isn't it?
Yeah, and that co-main event came together very, very quickly. Jakey reached out, and we are, putting it together for Elsie's Eye Army. Jakey is going to be fighting, of course, Terrence McKinney. Shout out to both guys, of course, raising awareness. It's a beautiful cause. Nice for us all, to come together as a community, try and support it. So you'll see as we go throughout the night, we're going to be having exclamation mark Eye Army, and that's going to be dropping the link to the GoFundMe throughout this entire night. So make sure, if you're able to, my guys, to support this cause. It's truly a cause worth fighting for. And with that really being said, I think that it's a good opportunity for us to throw across to the man himself who has brought this kind of to fruition, which is BFAP Jakey. Give us a little bit more information about the charity and kind of why it's so dear to his heart.
Yeah, so what's going on, guys? All the Primetime MMA fans around the world. So it's your boy BFAP Jakey. Shout out all the BFAP gang. So basically what we're doing, we're going to big shout out to Terrence McKinney, T-Rex McKinney, for taking this fight. It's crazy. We've got Cross there on a crazy poster. That's a crazy graphic. So basically he's took this and he said, anything for a good cause. And the good cause is my niece Elsie's my brother's firstborn daughter. She is visually impaired. When she was born, she couldn't see properly out of her eyes, when they noticed it when she was about 4 months old. And so then they took her to the doctors and just found out she had little to no eyesight at all, and they couldn't really tell when as she was they couldn't really tell until she gets older, like how much vision she will have or may not have, sort of thing. So for years we've been doing this fundraiser, Elsa's Eye Army, there's only one Elsie Steinbach, you know what I mean? And it's just, we've been doing great events. There's no cure, there's no cure, so it's not like we're trying to raise money to find a cure, but it's about doing other things, about just putting money into it so we can do more fundraisers and more events and things like that, supporting Great Woman Street for the brilliant work they've done with Elsie and things like that, and just trying to spread it, getting Braille in schools and things like that, things that we feel like is really important. So this is it's a brilliant cause, and obviously it's very close to my heart. So. And I do appreciate that every single person has been supporting in the lead up to this, like from the B3 members, from the FSD members, from Primetime MMA, all the guys, Chief Den, I see every single one of you, and we do appreciate it massively. And, we've put rivalries aside and things like that, and we're just going to have a great night.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, beautifully said. It's, as we mentioned, a cause truly worth fighting for, and shout out to yourself, of course, and all the guys that have been supporting. Of course, the one and only Terrence McKinney for taking this fight. Like I said, on short notice, man, turning up here this evening, bringing awareness to truly a beautiful cause that you guys have been putting together. around this fundraising. And with all of that being said, guys, like I said, make sure to show support throughout the entire evening. Share it as far and wide as you can. Help bring awareness to LC's I Army. And we're going to get into the fights that, of course, this is all going to be structured around here this evening. Doctor, up first, we have an interesting bout, my man, to kick off the evening. These guys are going to be obviously swinging from the get-go. Everybody's representing here, and they want to put on a show and do their bit for the entire event. It's Toasty Toes and A2 Active. These guys are known around the scene for quite a long time, brother, and they truly do bring the action more often than not.
They are indeed. Toasty Toes, more notoriously known as a wrestler, now turned striker in his last few outings, showing his class where need to be. He did come out last time around though, Ginger, using Mark DeCasey, and ended up playing a more wrestling game. Maybe we'll see the similar case here. A2 Active, fairly new to the game, but with a pick like Song Yudong, you've got to imagine this guy is going to look to stand and box your head off here.
Yeah, we all know Toasty as that grappler. He's known for being a little bit of a crush, never across the community. But standing across the octagon, we have A2 Active, Vex Chris's brother. He is a very nice striker. Seen a few clips of him online. I think he's going to be able to get this one done.
Nice. I mean, I've one of the very few times that I've been playing as of recently, I did come up against Toasty in a few matches, and he's definitely been working on his game, started to move a little bit more pressure-wise in terms of the way he's striking, but that may be difficult up against somebody like Active Doc. I mean, the guy has hands for days, as you can see. It doesn't take him long to find the mark and set his range.
Yeah, that jab and the way he established it very early on was fantastic, but this is Toasty's game now. He wants to take you down and grapple, but a lovely takedown defense stops him from going down. Another takedown attempt does occur. That drains a bit more of that stamina. Couple needs to rock, uppercut following suit, and it looks like A2 Active is looking to stay active on the feet here, Ginge.
Yeah, definitely. But we're seeing Toasty going and trying to wrestle straight away, but if he's not careful, that stamina will go quickly. Lovely takedown there. Let's hopefully he can get some offense. No, not lucky enough there, Looney.
No, it does a good job, but instantly ties him up. Of course, it's mixed martial arts, my guys, and Toasty Toes, as much as he may have been working on his striking, it's obviously not what he feels most comfortable up against with the pedigree standing across him Active. His brother Vex Chris, those Vex boys, very, very much known, as you well know, Ginger, for their hands, and you can see it. You can see it rippling through to his brothers. Kind of striking style. He seems to really know what he's doing out here.
This is the most difficult point for Toasty. It's the fact he hasn't got a takedown yet, which makes him a bit unnervous. Now getting knocked down with the ground and pound to follow suit here, trying his damnedest to survive, but it looks like he's out cold already. Jesus.
Finishing instinct there, Ginger. I'm sure you love to see it.
He knocked him out so fast he left the game.
Well, nah, he's all about getting us on to the next one, my man. He was in and out, wanted to make a show, and that's exactly what he did there. Doc, lead us into the next one, my man.
Yeah, following up next, we're going to be on the Xbox division again, this time with Humble Haze versus Wreck-It Panda. Panda being part of the SVG camp, notorious for the Moroccan Lions style here, Looney. Got to imagine that's going to be a very interesting fight for Haze.
Honestly, I quite like the Moroccan Lion sort of style, the way that he brings the crane kicks in. He kind of forces people, into making preemptive decisions out there, Ginger, in terms of the crane kicks, the roundhouses, the spin kicks that they bring to the table. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of variety to them. And a lot of the time, their opponents get caught by that unorthodox sort of style.
Yeah, it is very easy to get caught because you just don't know what way it's coming. You don't know what way to slip because sometimes if you duck it, you're getting slapped in the face. If you slip, you're getting slapped in the face. You don't really know what's going to happen, but that was just that was unpredictable.
Well, we will see as we get into these two guys. I believe Doc, they're just about getting ready there, my man.
Yeah, they're just lobbing up, cutting down the final bits of weight. They may have eaten a bit too much tiramisu, it seems, but hopefully they'll be able to be ready soon.
Well, I think it's a good time to maybe throw forward to the main event, of course, BFAP Dirty Dave up against Brady. Correct me if I'm wrong, Doc, just to throw it back to you. That's on the PlayStation side of things, or is it on the Xbox?
Xbox side.
It's on the Xbox. Both guys, obviously, they compete on both ends of things. Dirty Dave, recently the champion out there, Ginge, and he seems to be motivated to try and get back to that spot.
Yeah, he's been going on a rampage, looking to wrestle people left, right, and centre. I think it's when Khabib. He tried to go Khabib against me, Leaks, and now he's going to compete against Brady. He's just looking to wrestle people his way to the top.
Yeah, it's what he does best, man. He's really come a long way with his striking training with the likes of Trixie. It's really, really kind of rounded out his overall skill game. But I feel like that's been the case for a little while. He's just really started to perfect in it. But Brady, on the other hand, I mean, that guy, has been bringing the mixed martial arts game. He doesn't seem to fray away no matter where the fight goes, Doc. Seems very, very confident in his abilities. And, he believes that he can dethrone Dirty Dave here this evening, get a win in his, in his favor, and take that one step closer to a title shot.
You have got to imagine that he's going to be confident in his ability. He's fought a lot of competition. He knows most people's play styles, and he's got that fight IQ to back him up. So that's going to be what Brady's up against, and Brady's going to have to dig deep, figure out what game plan he wants to go to for that. However, with that all being said, I think these two are now finally all ready and sorted, and we'll go straight into it now.
Lovely jubbly. His name is Big Dick Marty on the graphic. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, I mean, I'm sure you remember, Ginge, you've been around for a very long time as well.
Mm-hmm.
Humble Hayes, back in the day, man, this kid has moments of glory. Like, he likes to talk the talk, but he often backs it up, and he backs it up with some really crisp striking more often than not. I mean, he beat Dino, and he actually beat Dino, and he's on his top of game, and now a number of other big names. And like I say, he's had his moments of brilliance, but he's also suffered some kind of really defeating losses. And when he kind of does that, he takes a break away, comes back even hungrier, and obviously going to be looking to try and remind people who he is here this evening.
Well, obviously, when you think of Humble Hayes, you think of the gift of gab. That guy can talk for hours and hours and hours, and you could just keep on being entertained. But hopefully it transitions to the octagon here, and he brings up an exciting performance against Ragged Panda.
Well, they are in welterweight, it looks like, for this one, Doc. Be interested to see who they go. Of course, prelims means 4-star fighters only, and as you see, they're going to switch it up a little bit here. So no 4.5, no 5-star fighters here this evening, at least up until the main card. That's when people really start to get to opening up.
Well, they are actually in heavyweight. Looking at the card again, we're going to have Anthony Johnson versus tied to a that's a hell of a fight. Oh, no. Spoke too soon.
I started seeing Action Bronson there. My heart dropped.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to see Ty, but if Bishop's a pick, we're going to say that's all well and done. A calf also in the other corner. Panda, known for that calf playing style, as I mentioned earlier on, as we were introducing the fight originally, part of that SCG camp, plays a Moroccan line, so he's very well attuned to using switch kicks, to using crane kicks, to using those specific type of kicks that are going to really, he's going to know how to manipulate and really play aggressive with it.
Yeah, obviously Bishop has got the speed of a bantamweight and the power of a heavyweight, as they never shut up about in the Fight Night Champion career mode. So, but the calf pick is quite interesting here from Ragged Panda. The power isn't matched, the speed isn't matched, it's just kind of outweighed on the face, so maybe the grappling game might come into effect here, Looney.
Yeah, potentially, right? Especially in heavyweight, the way that they the way that their cardio just kind of disappears, no matter who you are, really. Grappling can really be a make or break in this sort of weight class, but I imagine looking at the way that they're approaching it so far, it's predominantly going to be striking, as you see Ragged Panda landing a couple of hooks.
Well, PL and Hayes using the basic boxing ideas of getting that jab established and following through with a couple of hooks. He isn't extending quite a lot. That stamina is going down very slightly. On the other hand, you have Panda going for more type of kickboxing approach and now engaging in that boxing, and he's got stunned there.
Yeah, well, I'm starting to notice what Hayes is doing here. He's not letting his opponent get past the black line, and whenever he is, he's planting. Oh, lovely crane kick and nice takedown. But when he was trying to get past the black line, he planted and he gave him some strikes to think about, and that ended up in a stun. So that was a great use of movement and placement there, Looney.
Yeah, for sure, man. But Humble Hayes gets his little taunting. I mean, when he starts taunting, it means it could be one or two things, right? That kid is either all of a sudden decided to rise to the occasion, or a bit of frustration is setting in. We will only find out, more often than not. Like I said, that trash talking, I feel like, goes in his favor as he gets a nice little slip hook. And as you can see, Doc, working the body quite a lot as well. I think that's going to play dividends for him, especially in this heavyweight.
He really is trying to work that body nicely. He does have a very slight issue in the fact that because Bishop is so small and the calf is so big, his punches aren't always landing, so he is missing. But as you can see there, when he lands, he's landing heavily. And I think as this fight continues, he's doing such a good job getting that jab established first and then building on top of it. It's kind of leading the fight, especially making sure the pressure's always there, as you mentioned earlier, Ginge, with just making sure he's on the black line.
We're starting to see a few adjustments here from Panda, but every time he's starting to get a bit of control over the cage, he gets it right back up again. So it's kind of just, I think, experience setting up for Hayes here, knowing what he has to do and how he's going to do it. And nice get up there again. And he's using his pick very, very well. He's using the jab pressure, he's using the speed to his advantage, and it's just an all-around good performance so far here from Hayes, Looney.
Yeah, I think he's doing a good job. Obviously, he has been clipped once or twice. On the opposite side of things, I think Ragged Panda, other than the fact he's now being very, very much pressed, this is where he's obviously in heaps of trouble. He doesn't seem to recognize the issue, Doc, and almost gets finished as a result.
Yeah, a slip strike coming up now, a hook and an uppercut, and nearly landing following suit. That lead leg has been chopped a few times, but the lack of damage really done to it is probably something to be noted here, that it's not the greatest. The stamina as it goes low on the second stun there, and another takedown, but also gets a deny. He's only landed one or two takedowns, but even then he's yet to really engage in the grappling, which he does seem to want to be doing here.
Another green kick lands. The lion will improve, Ginge. Just to let you know, it's 100%. It's 100% votes on Ragged Panda right now. People must have forgot who Humble Hayes is, because, or maybe they just know something I don't. Maybe they know something I don't, Ginge.
Yeah, well, you also need to forget that Humble Hayes is a very controversial figure in the community, and people just don't like the guy. He uses it to his advantage, though. He uses it to just annoy people and get under the skin during league fights. And to be honest, he looks like he's just controlling this fight, and he looks like he's getting his opponent frustrated here.
Nice work again, Doc. That body work is really going to start to add up. You can see his stamina is nice and high, but I can't imagine Ragged Panda with the crane kicks and everything is going to be looking as fresh coming into the second round.
Yeah, it's that use of the lead hand. You can see him establish it with a jab, and then he follows through with a straight afterwards. He's been using the lead hook to the body, the uppercut. He's just always working it, and because of the stancer in that hook allows about 9% more vulnerability, if I remember correctly, and so it just does a bit more damage. And it add on to the fact your stamina's low and it's a counter shot, you're just going to keep working that body over and over, and your opponent's going to have real difficulty. Again, lovely takedown defense there, and that's also is keeping PL1 Hayes in the game here. He's just keeping his defense side, he's keeping all of his boxing shots very basic.
What I've noticed Humble Hayes is doing is whenever he's getting the takedown, he's just going pressure folks. He knows his stamina's low from the takedown defense. So he's using the stamina advantage to his advantage, and he's just trying to get the long-term advantages in the fight to just overall get a decision if the fight does not end. But it looks like
that boy is shot.
Yeah, I was going to say, Billy Pauly, man, this kid, if anything, he's normally a headhunter. So the fact he's going to the body so often here, Doc, is clearly a ripple to his game that he's been working on, and it's going to set up those shots to the head when they eventually come. You can see the confidence is starting to ooze from him, especially as you can see Ragged Panda start to get very lethargic and start to get connected on with some big bombs.
Trying a couple of leg kicks of his own, evidently annoyed by the amount of just kicks that has been thrown at his body and leg through his entire fight, seemingly doubling up in boxing range. Surprised he didn't get countered there. A straight does land as Billy Connolly goes for the head movement, but a couple more jabs get sidestepped. A minute left on the clock in the second round, and it's very much the same, if not going even better for Hayes so far. If Ragged Panda wants to stay in this fight, he's going to really have to adapt it.
And what a way to come back here for Hayes. He comes back in a few months and then just has this absolute wonderful performance. It may come down to experience, because Ragged Panda is kind of has the chance to get the advantage back and then just gives it up. But it's just a really nice all-round performance here from Humble Hayes.
Yeah, he feels like he's, kind of maybe trying to push back some of the new blood. And he's looking good, man. He's looking really good. It's heavyweight, second round. He's going to come out into the third round with over half his stamina when he knows his opponent is hurting. That was hilarious. Flips him the bird. Flips him the bird.
Well, that was a chaotic ending there, as you mentioned. Flipping the bird, running towards him, a front kick, nearly got a fired punch out, and trading with the rear hook and the head kick, neither stunning or really particularly landing. But that's round 2 to a close. As you can see by the replay, though, Humble happily secured that round, keeping his opponent behind that black line, controlling the fight much like the first round, if not even better, and now entering the first. This is the final round that Wreck-It Panda needs to make the adjustments to figure out what he wants to do. That stand may be low, his head down may be low, his body health may be low, but he needs to really dig deep here, Ginge.
Yeah, the combo that really seems to be working for Hayes here is the lead body uppercut, lead body hook, into the body straight, and it just seems to be working really well, and the body just keeps on going.
Jesus.
He's like, get up. He's letting him get right back up. He's going to knock him down again in a very quick second.
He's got to be careful digging down to that body with the way it does, but the...
yeah, there you go.
Jesus.
What a performance.
Counters on the clinch, gets the stun as he gets clinched, and then follows it through with a rear hook. Evidently, his opponent thought he was going to the body like he would did every time he got stunned, and that was just a rinse-free performance, and that was a fantastic job by Hazer.
Yeah, did it. Like I said, everybody forgot who he was, whether or not they bet emotionally just because they didn't like him. But as you can see, statistics don't lie, Doc. They do not lie. The numbers do not. And he lit his opponent up from the start, felt very confident in his hands, and moved us beautifully on to the next fight. I mean, it's been quick. It's been quick this evening, bro.
It has been quick indeed. You had 2 KOs already. This is what you come to see. It's the primetime guarantee. We're going to stay on the Xbox side this time around, and we're going to go straight into the ICBD Gamer versus the notorious Pigeon Scout. So far, we're having a lot of old names come back. We've had Humble Haze, and now we have Pigeon making his return.
Yeah, obviously Pigeon. Another light heavyweight fight, so you're going to see a lot slower. You're going to see the cardio goes it just goes an instant. But Pigeon Scout making his return months without competing in prime time, comes back. ICBD Gamer, obviously part of the ICB camp. Lepo, Pug, 2 very well known people who've done very well in prime time. So I'm excited to see what he has in store here, Lenny.
Yeah, I mean, look, Pigeon's been around for a long, long time within these communities, and although he has not been fighting under the banner of Prime Time for a little while, I feel like he was eager to come back, and he has been eager to try and get his feet wet again, Doc. Try and get out here, maybe shake off some of that rust, and hopefully, if I know anything about Ginger, he's going to be looking to put on a statement. That kid does like to get finishes.
Yeah, well, it should also be noted, Pigeon was former ICB. So he's trained with the likes of Lepo, maybe D-Gaming, maybe he came in later, but he understands the course concept and the way they train, so maybe that's something he can take on into this fight. So far, both opponents staying very active in their styles, a lot of body kicks, a lot of knees, and straights coming out there. Anthony Johnson already taking a dig deep into his overall stand, but decides that a flying knee is what he wants to fire there as well.
I'm starting to see that Pigeon's using the straight very well. He's using it to intercept his opponent, and he's using it to stop the pressure, and he's using his footwork very well as well. He's just kind of looking to get the early advantage, the stamina advantage, and to just stop any long-term damage in the early part of the fight, Lenny.
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to point out, of course, I mean, I personally rate this pick of Rumble so much, man. He hits so hard. I mean, people get a little bit thrown off him because, of course, that big power comes with the consequence of not having a great cardio, Doc, but you don't need too many to connect, bro. Just like that, he gets the rock.
Yeah, well, similarly, I quite like the Rat pick. He's got very long legs, he's got elbows for days, so you don't have to be that close to really land the elbows if needed. The only issue is when you're engaging in the pocket, you need to be wary because his hands are a bit slow and you want to be keeping to that kickbox style range, which is what Pigeon, for the most part, has been doing, although he did get stunned in boxing range there.
Yeah, Pigeon's using his tips very well. He's using it perfectly just when he's coming in the range, making sure he's clipping the body. The body work's doing very nice for him here. Lovely pullback elbow. Oh, this could be it.
That is what you want to see. Now looking to get a finish, trying his damnedest.
Lovely defense.
We'll have to see what Pigeon's been working on the mat. I mean, the kid has always been, fairly well-rounded, Doc, just to throw it back to you, but it seems like he's worked on his ground game quite considerably, even with the stamina deficit, nailing these denials.
Yeah, nailing those trials, but it would be highly desirable to make sure your stam's up to full before going on the attack. The stamina difference on the ground is such a crucial aspect in hold. If you've got less stamina than your opponent, you're going to have a lot more difficulty transition. One denier can cause great issues, and that's kind of what we're going to be focused on. Going back to the side control, probably going to look to work those body hooks again. Does get a lovely deny, and now going again, firing those elbows up.
Well, Pigeon is just absolutely having. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. It's getting bad for the gamer here.
He's just under complete pressure. He's not getting any transitions off. Just keep on getting denied, and the block is about to be absolutely demolished. Hopefully he can get on the full guard here and just prevent any more significant damage getting off. There you go.
Well,
I mean, it's a smart move as well, though, Doc, right? I mean, he's already had success on the feet, now do it on the ground, especially considering the fact that you want to try and take Rumble into those later rounds, as you saw, because of the big damage he can land with the hands when he's feeling fresh.
yeah, that was big damage. He only landed 19 strikes. He did also get knocked down by Johnson, but you could definitely tell the power he did land was very significant overall. So if you're Pigeon, you know the fact you've got to be wary of Johnson's power. You're going to take a step back, you're going to look to probably take it down to the ground again, maybe try get a knockdown or something of that sort, just because as you can tell, as soon as Rumble hits you on the head there, and that your chin just goes completely here, Ginge.
Yeah, well, what I've noticed here, health stat wise, is Pigeon's not taking any damage, any considerable damage, except for a little bit of lead. And that comes from how patient he was and how clinical he used the ground game. Stop the stamina being prevented, use the damage, use the body knees and side control. He's trying to play a long game, like Looney said here, and he's trying to use Rumble's cardio against him, which is a very, very smart idea.
Well, shooting the takedown hasn't gone particularly well there for him. He's now against a cage again. Slip straight also hit him, and we saw how much damage that could do last fight. And he also coming out trying to work that body, looking to fake their lovely little faking by both sides, but it seems like they're just trying to get another feel of how the striking game wants to go here then.
This is the best Pigeon we've ever seen. Pigeon's got leveled up, bro. He's leveled up. He's going Super Saiyan out here. And Ginger, as I said, he lands. This is fantastic. What a finish.
He is out cold. It looked like he would have to jump down, but that straight as Johnson went down was all it took. He stayed calm, composed. He was more just using pressure by standing his opponent's face and just waiting for him to try, especially when he got into that second round. And that was the main adjustment he made on the feet. And from doing that, it was just worked fantastically, looking for those counters, came out with that combination, and it just did a fantastic job there.
Yeah,
that is a different Pigeon. That is Vulture. That's not Pigeon.
That is
The Pigeon
I like
has
it, bro.
upgraded, possibly to a seagull.
Either way, brother, that kid, I'm excited to see what he can do now he's back. Like I said, he was eager to get back. Clearly been putting in some work in the lab, and it came in full fruition here, Ginger. I mean, he leveled up, and it was not just like in the way that he's always been like an entertaining sort of fighter. He comes forward, throws his hands, but he seemed very, very much in control on the mat. And just the way that he was pulling shots, setting up with certain feints to the body, to the head, I think that he looked very, very clean.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. He looked very composed, that's how I would describe it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Doc, it was a beautiful fight. Like I said, these guys not wasting any time getting us on to the next one. How about you set us up for that one, brother?
This will be our first PlayStation fight of the evening. This will be El Steel 27 versus Raw Soul in the middleweight division. Now, what I'm looking at, and what T-Soul has been saying, also known as Raw Soul, he was previously known as T-Soul, is he's picking Damian Maia, but he's seeming like he's going to box with Damian Maia. So this should be a very interesting night to see. Kevin Holland in one corner, Kevin Holland notorious anywhere he wants to go. Damian Maia, typically a grappler, but as I proved on multiple occasions, you can beat someone up on the feet with him and still be very effective.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was going to say if anybody was going to appreciate it, it would have been you, Doc. The K1 Damien Maya, as you were more formally known. Did a little video myself a while back. The dangerous Damien Maya. Honestly, people sleep on his hands. He's actually got power in them. It's just because he doesn't have like high technique moves, so it doesn't look as nice. But he can be very effective if he, uses it well. And somebody like Kevin Holland, I think it's going to be a tough match if he doesn't want to grapple with him, Ginge. But stranger things have happened.
Yeah. Stranger things have happened. But I don't like Damien Maya mains because Doc is one of them. But hopefully, Tuso can change my mind, or Russell, sorry. But the Kevin Holland pick is a long-range grappler. He's got better on the feet, and he has a similar kind of stat game on the ground. So if L still plays the right game here, he can definitely beat him off of the fighter pick.
Well, so far he's playing that normal backstepping game, getting that jab established, also landing a straight there, lovely to see. Overhand does land, but only lands onto the block. And there we are, back into the game. They're kind of keeping in this middle range and having a bit of difficulty trying to read each other. Just an interesting fact about Damien Maya, he does have a level 2 jab, which is actually higher rated than Bobby Green's jab.
Oh my God.
That is so bad that it's unreal. They've done Bobby Green dirty on this game. I ain't gonna lie to you, but well, nice step off, bro. Absolutely beautiful. Does get caught. I mean, people once again sleep on Holland. I feel as well on this game. Ginge, he does have a lot of power, and he actually has a lot of tools at his disposal.
Yeah, he has that death kick. He has spinning elbow. He got a turning takedown, if I'm not wrong.
Yep, turns it down, but he doesn't bother to use it. In Damien Maya's full guard, gets a knife and an arm carving out already. That joint stub already looking kind of suspicious. Lovely comeback though, making sure to slow down it, not grabbing the entire trigger either way, but he gets the slam there, getting him out of it. Now enters into side control. The issue with Damien Maya though, he does have the full guard sweep, so you've got to be wary of that, but instead he wants to get back up onto the feet. I have also just noticed though, this fight is 5 rounds.
Well, they got 3 to get it done, bro. They got 3 to get it done. I said these guys don't seem to be going for a decision anyway out here, Ginger. They are throwing hell for leather from the get-go. I imagine some kicks are going to start to come into play. I mean, if you're Kevin Holland and you're not throwing kicks in this fight, I think you're missing the trick. These guys are basically boxed so far.
Yeah, no, I agree. You need to be using every single element of Kevin Holland if you want to be a good Kevin Holland. But on the ground, though, he's got that rubber guard. He's got a lot of submissions. You can definitely grapple, but I want to see more of a stand-up game coming from Steele here.
Well, it seems like neither of them really wants to be the pressure. Holland doesn't want to come forward, but he's trying to come forward because Damien Maya definitely isn't walking forward. But at the same time, the Maya doesn't want to go forward because he's not a striker, first and foremost. He's using that jab very effectively, and so is Holland, to be fair here.
First round, it was pretty even. I don't really know who to give it to. Going off damage and going off stamina, I will give it to Teo Solo.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out. They've got another 10 minutes potentially on the clock, right? Showing some respect early, but majority of that round played out on the feet, and I feel like over the long term, it's gotta play to Holland's favour.
One would assume, however, the gas tank of Holland was going down a lot quicker than it was on Damien Maya, so maybe that's going to play a favour. You do only have 3 rounds, it's not 5 like they do currently have set 2, so you're not sure how well the stamina's doing, but with that type of stamina deficit already forming just from 1 round, you can imagine if you get to round 3, it's going to go very nicely into the favour of Damien Maya, especially if he keeps up the body work like that.
He's using his lunges very well, he's making his opponent whiff. If he does keep on doing what he's doing, he will definitely have the health advantages going into the third. And if it goes past the third, you'll be going to a Ginger decision, which means you're not getting a win because it's my decision.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, a knockdown there follows suit. Lovely job there by Damien Maya. Now looking to get it.
Never mind. He's won. No, he hasn't. No.
A guillotine attempt.
And he is definitely not getting that.
Kevin Holland trying to play a Kevin Holland game, trying to submission the submission specialist, the only guy to submit out half a ton of people. Now going back to full guard, gets the posture up, probably going to disengage here, but instead decides to go for that ground and pound now. He probably wants to look to transition to other positions, but it looks like Kevin Holland has different ideas here.
Okay, look, Kevin Holland is a black belt himself, but there are levels to this black belt, and it does not look like his defense on this submission is very good, Ginger. You may get caught here.
Oh, I'm hoping it happens. Oh, I'm hoping. Oh, I love leg locks.
The idea here is to gently press your trigger. It seems like he's pressing them just a bit too hard, and it's definitely going into the favour of Tuso here.
Panicking.
The leg lock
He's
slowly
panicking.
creeping up. It's looking like the submit bar is getting higher and higher before this blue bar can even get 2/3 away, and it looks like Damian Maya has it.
Beautiful.
Wow.
First leg lock of the season. I think the second leg lock in primetime history. Fantastic work. I'll be honest with you, that fight was a little wild. It was a little bit unpolished in certain elements of the striking, Ginger, but when it hit the mat, he cinched that up very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you can kind of tell from the second round he wanted it more. He was using the lunges, he was using the body work. When he went on the ground, he was still doing better. It was just an all-round better performance from Rosso there.
100%. Rosto picking up the W, moves us on very, very nicely to the next one, Doc. Is this one EK Capellotti up against LW Nest?
Yes, it is Capelot, part of the EK gang, formerly SMB. The man knows how to strike. He fought the likes of Jakey B, who's later on in the card. He had a fantastic fight in the Grand Prix, I want to say. He fought Jakey. He lost. Yeah?
He did. Yeah, he looked
Yeah.
off Jakey.
Yeah, he fought Jakey B, had a fantastic fight, but Jakey B taking that win. LW Nesto, former title contender from the past season, so he knows definitely how to make it, but this is a new season to make your case. May have had some success early on. Can he have similar success when he find someone of the likes of Capelot? Let's see. This is going to be in the lightweight division, but looks like we have a 4-star Max Holloway versus a 4-star
Yes.
Pace pick.
Yes. Well, whenever you see LW, you think lethal hands. They got the hands. LW are known for their striking. They're known for their kickboxing, which is why I think Anthony Pettis is a very shooting pick. But on the other side, you have Capelot. He's going Max Holloway. He can throw about 562 punches around. So, Ernesto needs to get off that body work limit.
Yeah, exactly right, man. You can't let Holloway get going. You can't. If he gets ahead in this one, starts setting precedents with his striking, it's going to make it very, very difficult to get back from. But as we've seen from Anthony Pettis time and time again, this man is a finishing machine, a human highlight reel, and I imagine that he'd be very, very happy if he could add Max Holloway to that list.
Yeah, having Max Holloway on your highlight reel when the man has a highlight reel of his own would be an impressive statement here. So far, although Holloway pushing on the pressure, using his boxing skills nicely, getting that jab established, landing a body straight as he went for a knee, doing quite a lot of damage, then goes to the body straight of his own, then blitzing him there.
Well, yeah, I can already tell right now that Capelot is very composed in what he's doing and knows what he's doing. He knows what shots he's throwing. He knows how he's going to throw it. He knows what he's going to do if he gets countered. He's ahead. He's in a minute and 15 seconds. I can already tell he's about 2 steps ahead from Ernesto here.
Wilson Batfist does miss, however, Capelot managing to keep his defense high, and every time he goes on the aggression, he's scattergunning all his shots. And with a Holloway player, that is kind of what you want to be doing. You want to be scattergunning from top to bottom, making your opponent think about where you're going to go next, and that opens up every avenue of opportunity. The needs from Ernesto are doing some success, but with a cardio like Max Holloway, you've got to stroke quite a lot to really start denting an impact into his cardio here.
Yeah, for sure. Max Holloway going to the legs as well. Obviously, Capellotti is such a seasoned striker, but he does get caught with a beautiful 2-touch kick right there, Ginger. That's the sort of explosiveness that Pettis brings to the table, and of course, he can shut your lights out if even one of them lands in. When you zig, when you should zag.
Oh yeah, also Pettis, you need to use that kickboxing, especially against Max Holloway. You need to do the body work. I want to see more of it. Although he is doing it, he needs to increase the volume here because the stamina is pretty even, and Caplot is throwing a lot more than Ernesto here, dog.
He's also working that leg brilliantly. That lead leg is getting slowly chopped by the calf kicks. That head health now stunning, the jab straight also to the body, and a lovely ass kick doesn't get through the block. And you got to imagine if you're Capital here, you're just going to cruise. You're content with how this fight's going. You're going to keep that pace on. You don't really have to worry about any danger. Although Pettis is trying to offer something, it just seems like he can't really do the much damage to Max Holloway here.
Yeah, I think that comes with the cardio. The fact that he is so conditioned means that he's able to take more shots and just go for longer in these bouts. But he is actually at least from my dodgy eye, I think he's actually at a bit of a disadvantage. I think Pettis is actually a bit of a stamina advantage right now, but I could be wrong.
I think it's a very close. I'm not too sure. Those body shots.
That's what I mean, though, right? It's difficult for it to be that close when you're up against Max Holloway. So he's doing fantastic as a result of that, and I think it's to do with what Ginger was saying, which is that he is tagging the body very nicely.
Yeah. Well, I want to see more use of the range here, because obviously with Pettis you can just chuck kicks at someone like they're nothing. So you want to see him stick the kick in range. You want to see him use the leg kicks a bit more. Get Max's leg down, take the power out of the punch. So I want to see more of that here from Ernesto.
Well, Holloway has forced Anthony Pettis to switch stance. Evidently Pettis took note of that leg stunt early on, trying to engage in his boxing. It looking like Holloway was getting the worst of it, but so far he's going back to it. That opens up the body kick when you're in that southpaw stance with Pettis, so maybe he can look to do that. A side kick nearly hitting his chin there, and a teep to follow in retaliation.
Man punch, doing nicely, but as somebody said in the chat a moment ago, Body Hook mentioned in the chat, in between rounds the recovery from Capilotti is going to be a bit too much, and now he's starting to really connect with his punches, and this is going to be increasingly difficult for Max Holloway, for Ernesto to get back into it, Ginge.
Oh, and those knockdowns. And the body Jesus.
That's Anthony Pettis' chin for you.
Yeah, but you got to give credit where credit's due to the defense, making every shot that Ernesto tried to throw there, every shot Capilot tried to throw there, it was blocked fantastically well. Although he was stunned to the body and head, he made reads on every place that Capilot wanted to try, and he did great there. Now coming back, trying to get the body health event, but the cardio with those two knockdowns in play has definitely gone into the favour of Holloway here.
That's another one. It's just Capilot just picking his shots, knowing what to throw, when to throw it, so went for a takedown, couldn't get it. Very nice cage defense there from Capilot.
He's doing well, man. He's a seasoned vet, and he's kind of making all the right moves. Of course, Ernesto is now coming forward, but I almost feel like Capilotti wants that to be the case as he's trying to walk him onto some body shots here, Doc. And it sets up those lead hooks and the overall boxing for him. Every time you think he's going to go high, he goes low, and same vice versa.
Oh, that's straight. Also landing there. Lead teep sticking him against the cage. That lead hook has been one of the Max Holloway's key weapons. It's a jab, it's that lead hook. Having a very effective lead hand so far for this entire card seems to have been like one of the mainstays of it all. And Holloway's doing a fantastic job. It was a lovely combo there by Pettis, but it didn't land or do any real damage. And he had a lot of success, as you mentioned, in the first round, but now it's looking like it's just Holloway starting to just a barrel roll into momentum here.
Yeah, he seems way ahead, Ginge.
Yeah, he does, but Capilot needs to not play with focus, obviously, with the way the rank system works. Earlier you get a finish.
Oh my!
Never mind. I'll be quiet.
He wolfed that shit down in one. He inhaled that.
He straighted Pettis in the face and he fed onto the uppercut. That's what happened there. He went, okay, I'm just going to leave my hand here. You can fall onto it happily. And that was the way Pettis went out cold.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look, this is it's been sensational. We've been moving very quickly here this evening. A little bit of a background here, word from the back. We are going to move the Jakey's fight, to the featured fight of the prelim. So we're going to get straight into Hoo Hoo TT and STL Ballon if they are ready. And then, of course, we will get on to what is kind of one of the highlighted fights of the evening, of course, the sponsored kind of section of the entire event, which is LC's I Army. We'll get that shared again once in the chat. I know that you guys have already shown some fantastic support, so please keep that up. And, it's like I said, it's a cause that's truly worth fighting for, and coming together around these sorts of causes, I think, does fantastically for everybody within the community.
Indeed.
Are these guys ready, Doc?
Yeah, they're ready. We're going to have, this is on the PlayStation side, featherweight division. As Looney said, it's TT Hoo versus STL Ballon. Both these guys mainly strikers from what I know. TT is Team True, part of Moolah's camp. Seen Moolah in the past, fantastic striker. Also grapple really well, probably one of the top tiers on the PlayStation side. So he's part of a good camp. ST Ballon has also been making himself known across the board. But looks like we're going to have Dustin Poirier versus Anthony Pettis here tonight.
Oh, I love seeing Anthony Pettis. Nothing more entertaining.
Yeah, they're fun picks, bro. They're fun picks, and honestly, I rate it. It's one of the reasons I love the four-star rules, right? The 4-star rules, the simple fact that it makes you be a little bit more kind of diverse in what you're picking. I know we see Dustin Poirier quite a bit, but not in this weight class, of course. And then you get Anthony Pettis across from him. You get to see him a lot more due to that restriction and some of the other fun, creative strikers across different weight classes.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's just got a very, very fun moveset that you can just entertain with.
Well, here we are. Both of them starting off with a lead leg kick there after the touch of gloves. Pettis playing the more aggressive game compared to the last Pettis we saw. He's making sure to keep the centre octagon because that's where he wants to go. Ballon's, though, he's walking in and out of the range and trying to land that straight to the body as well as that lead hook there.
Yeah, starting out very, very quickly, I was speaking to these guys in the back, of course, Jakey and Terrence McKinney, who will be up next as our new featured fight of the prelim. And I said, these guys, they ain't going to take too long, I can promise you that, Ginge. They're quick starters and more often than not quick finishers, much like Terrence McKinney himself, 100% finish rate with these two fighters.
Yeah, but what I've noticed about Poirier at featherweight is he hits like a truck. An absolute truck. It's just, you don't expect it, and then boom, you just get stunned. You're like, what? And then obviously you got Pettis, you get hit by one of his kicks, you're getting knocked out. It's just a matter of who hits the hardest or the earliest here, Doc.
Yeah, it really is. Well, so far the lead hooks and the uppercuts, mainly all the aggression's coming from Poirier. Pettis is trying his damnedest, but it's looking like Poirier's still on lead in the fight here, always peppering all of his shots across the board. Lovely bit of head movement there, keeping him out of the way, but Hoo needs to start looking for a big counter here because although he's trying to, it seems like Poirier's just slowly running away with it.
Did very well, though, and he's got a lot of power in those hands, and the boxing goes a long way, but
that's it.
Body's basically mincemeat.
Yeah, it's just Pettis' health stats just aren't good enough to compete with Poirier's.
Yeah, he's just keeping this pace up non-stop. He's also like timing it very well. There's very much a flow, there's a pattern to it, and it's having a lot of success here.
Yeah, it's just a matter of keeping him behind the black line, giving him pressure, and just not letting him breathe, not letting him get the kicking range, not letting him get the flashy kicks. And it's really, really working well here. A lovely takedown, though. Hopefully this is the adjustments he needs.
Good night. It's, I mean, he is pressuring very, very heavily at the moment. And I think that actually ultimately is what led to him getting taken down there, Doc. There's only 40-odd seconds left in this round, but it's a pretty smart move from TT Hoo.
Well, a top man position here, and now he starts firing all the shots down. The block got broken, a couple of straights land. Maybe if maybe if the head movement didn't happen there, he could have got a few more. But I think with that draws the first round to a close after the extraordinary amount of pressure from Ballon and just a kind of reset from TT Hoo here to get that takedown.
I thought he got stuck in animation there. I thought he was going to get knocked out.
Yeah, honestly, exactly the same. Well. we shall shortly see how this fight transpires. But the power of Dustin Poirier and the committance to that forward pressure, Doc, I feel like is going in his favor. But how long for? We'll have to see if his stamina is able to. It does. His stamina's doing well. Obviously, attacking the body helps out quite a lot.
Yep, lovely bit of head movement there by TT Who. The head health, though, is kind of in question. Body attack and a takedown following suit. It seems like Who knows that the place he wants to be right now is on the ground. He wants to be scoring points here just due to the fact that Ballon evidently plays so much aggression on the feet and gave him a lot of hassle there that he wants to keep it down here.
Oh, Rubber Guard is a horrible place, and he gets flipped into side control. If Balin is able, nope, she gives it up. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Well, the uppercut lands there and going straight for the finish. He tries it down, his head health is very low, digs down to that body, thought he was going to go up top, he doesn't, and now the jab straights again coming out. Lead hook countering as he comes forward again. It seems like the end of the second again, all over again, but a stun happens here. Uppercut, knockdown, ground and pound now going, digging down to that body, couple of straights, now gets slipped over into the back sitting. And a top mount viability, but does get denied. Jesus. Pettis coming back in fantastic fashion, straight back into this fight here.
Beautiful pace.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that, so now it's only fair if he does a tornado kick and the spin heel kick. It's only fair.
We'll see. I mean, I'm surprised to see who continue to go for that takedown. He's having some success on the feet. Maybe he's just trying to mix it up, try and get his opponent guessing a little bit. But I'd honestly like to see him separate and go back to the hands out here, Doc, because I feel like he was getting his, having his moments.
Yeah, I feel like he started to get a read on the counters of Who, and that's quite successful, but he needs to make sure he keeps it all nice and precise, especially with that type of head health existing right now.
Yeah, it's seeing Who just, if the health stats weren't as bad as they were, it would be his fight, but it's so big. The difference is so big. It's almost impossible to recover that damage, so you're just going to have to hope he can drag out a decision here, Lenny.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You know the way it is, maybe a win is a win, I suppose, but the rankings heavily favour finishes, whether that be submissions or knockouts, and I think this is a good opportunity as he rains down some shots to the body to talk about that. Our rankings are completely and utterly point-based. The finishes that you get and how early they are play a factor, and with that in mind, Balin is now trying to get that finish.
Someone play the Bee Gees, this guy's staying alive.
Oh, sorry. Ooh, trying to get that finish.
Well, Pettis now engaging, gets the stun. It looks like the stamina of Ballon's definitely not helping him in the favour. Who's head health is blinking like no one's business. However, Dustin Poirier's stamina is getting to the point where it's really low. It should be noted that Pettis ain't far behind, but he gets the body rock, digs up top, now getting the stun. If he can work that body, but the end of the round ends. That's a one hell of a round and a comeback and a half.
The end of the round did definitely end, and it was an entertaining one. Combinations after combinations, Langinge. I feel like these guys delivering on what we believe their striking capabilities to be. I am surprised that Anthony Pettis is mixing up the grappling so much, but it is slowing it down a little bit, and I suppose allowing him to recover some of that head health that he kind of had a bit taken away from him in that early round.
Yeah, he's probably just very anxious about getting knocked out, and he wants to play as safe as possible, but it may come to cost him here, because from that second round, because Valley being Balin, so he couldn't need a knockout, so he needs to get a pair of kahunas and go for the knockout.
He lands a couple of short shots on the inside, Doc, trying to work the body. He seems to be very, calm, consistent. I feel like if anybody's going to hunt the finish here, it's going to be on the side of Balin. It's he has the head health to do it. Stamina isn't that far behind, and obviously Pettis translates that power through every single second of this fight.
Yeah, Pettis has reduced his output. He's the one putting on the pressure now. He's not the one being pressured. And Ballon's stamina being the way it is also leading to it. It should be noted though, the block and the head health of Pettis is definitely something to be concerned about if Poirier can get the pressure on. But so far he's not really wanting to. He's kind of calm, composed. He's looking for an opportunity. He's looking for a window to really make another explosion here to then secure the round or get the finisher.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Oh no. I don't like seeing Pettis mates get beat up. It's not fun. Oh,
Head kick there, front kick following suit, a jab and a body shot in retaliation. The body may help Poirier get to the end, but the head health is definitely where it's at here. Body shot also firing back in retaliation from Hoo. Only a jab straight and it blocks and he completely destroys the block and stuns him. Double uppercuts there, but the head moves.
oh,
If he can get a read
stamina.
on that head movement, maybe he'll be able to follow through with a finish, but so far it seems like Hoo just can keep his head out of the way of Dustin Poirier here.
Gets the takedown. 1:40 left on the clock. Takes his back. I mean, I think that's the second or third time that's happened in this fight. His defense from the ground and pound seems to be on point.
Yeah, Bill. To be honest, you always think Hoo has that little glimmer of hope, and then boom, he shuts it right down again with the ground and pound defense. So, but Hoo, he seemed like he wanted to grapple. So, hopefully he feels comfortable in this position. He feels like he can get a ground and pound finish. But at the moment, that doesn't look like it's going to happen here, Doc.
Well, getting a couple of those deniers now, working that head health beautifully. Poirier does return into the full guard position, going for another one. Doesn't get it, and now a posture up. Posture straight back down, interestingly enough, and it seems like currently they're stagnating. 25 seconds left on the clock, and it looks like it may end up going to a decision here. As I say that, though, Poirier looking to land the hooks there.
Nice work. Once again, Anthony Pettis trying to keep it short. Only 9 seconds left on this clock. Don't know if we're going to see a finish in this one, but...
Yeah.
Oh! As I said it. As I said it.
1 second left. 1 singular second left is when Stark Ballon decides to leave it till securing the victory. At the very end, a very close range head kick, basically a knee to the head by the looks of it. Shin, and to the back of the head, in fact, and Pettis is out cold there.
We had Mr. Humbledink sitting on the beaches in Greece, saying that Ballon is really trying to slow things down. As he says that, I kind of went along with it. I thought that he was completely right. That's what I was seeing as well. But it wasn't. Ballon was just calm, calculated. He was planning out that perfect shot to land, and he got it. Mr. Humbledink, early stoppage. I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that. Well, I think these guys now are about ready. Once again, this entire event we will be raising awareness and trying to raise as much funds as possible for LC's I Army. Jakey, BFAP's Jakey, of course, brought this cause to our attention, put this together, has arranged the fight with the one and only Terence McKinney. These guys, I mean, obviously Jakey's been around the scene for a long time now, Ginge, Doc. We know the pedigree of his striker, but these guys are going to be fighting blindfolded throughout this entire fight. It's predominantly just going to be a slugfest, I would imagine. If Terence McKinney's UFC career and overall professional career is anything to go by, there's a finish, and there's a finish coming quickly. There's 100% finish rate with that guy, and the fact that they are going to be fighting, I suppose, with that handicap of having the blindfolded on, is going to make it very entertaining and very difficult for them to be able to, really settle in, other than just to wade that leather at each other's head.
Oh, it'll be great. It'll be very entertaining. Obviously, Terence McKinney's going to be looking to do what he did against Matt Rivola at 263 and just try and knock Jakey out as soon as that bell rings. But I'm excited. I'm very excited to see what happens here.
I believe that they are going to be getting their cam set up. So for this one, of course, as part of the entire kind of match itself, the exhibition match itself, they're going to have their cameras on, they're going to have the blindfolds on, and we're going to really just kind of, for this one, sit back and enjoy. And we will be spamming out the Aya Army in the chat. Like I said before, make sure that in any way you can, my guys, whether it be sharing it, whether it be donating, get the word out there, help come together and fight for this cause that, as we keep saying, is truly worth fighting for. Doc, from your end, my man, how are they looking up at the moment?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. It looks like we're all getting set up. I believe so.
Right. Nice. Okay, not a problem. We'll give it a couple of seconds as these guys go forward, but I'll throw it across to you there, Ginge, because we didn't take too much time to talk about this at the beginning. Fights left ahead of us, other than, of course, the Jakey Terrence McKinney fight that we're about to see. Are you looking forward to here this evening, brother?
Oh, I cannot wait for Vex Grange versus LW Mist, and especially my favorite battle of them all will be FSD Keza Lab versus DB Noggin. Obviously, I've put in a lot of work with Noggin, and obviously Keza is up there with top strikers on the game. So I will want to see how Noggin can test himself here.
Nice, yeah. Like you say, Noggin. Noggin has come a long way, bro. He really, really has in virtually every facet. Especially though the striking area of it. Myself, we all know Keza's an absolute G on this game. Little needs to be said about that man's pedigree. I think that once again we will see it one way or another fully illustrated in this evening's fight. What about yourself, though, Doc? Anything that stands out to you, my man?
Oh, this entire card is pretty good. As you mentioned, the Keza versus Noggin fight. That's a very interesting fight. You got Dave versus Brady in that main event. But you also have Grains versus LW Mist. Now, that is a fight and a half. Those two notorious in terms of their brawling ability. So, you're going to imagine that's going to be one hell of a fight.
Beautiful. Well, I'm just going to get an update for this second, my guys. Obviously, the other one that's, for myself personally, okay, there's two fights that really stand out outside of the main event, outside of the Jakey fight up against Terrence McKinney fight. I really like the looks of Vex Grains up against LW Mist. If you know anything about the Vex camp, and Grains in particular, brings the action each and every time. Very diverse skill set at his disposal. And LW Mist is one of the OGs of the community, content creator, and has put a lot of work into really deep diving into the ins and outs of this game and understands it on a deeper level than most, especially when it comes to that pressure striking style, Dog. He swings leather and he puts you in a really uncomfortable spot with some unorthodox striking angles.
Yeah, you've got to imagine if you're put into those difficult angles, it's going to be a very interesting time to see how he's going to adjust.
For sure. Outside of that, though, Mars Rival. Well, I always say his name. Mars Rival Wolf. Yeah, I know. Up against GK The Truth. He says he's my favorite fighter. I've seen him say it a number of times. He's an entertaining fighter for sure, and so is War. So, obviously, it is absolutely fantastic. From what I hear, they're having a little bit of an issue getting the camera set up just to kind of throw it back to the Jakey fight. So we will move on to the next one for this moment, Doctor. So that will be Temp up against Demon.
I believe those two did get stuck up a tree, sadly. So instead, it's going to be Keza versus Noggin.
Well. I mean, it gets on to it gets on to the fight that you pointed out to us there, Ginge. Exactly. Like I said, bro, one way or another. FSD Keza up against DB's Noggin. These guys bring it each and every time, and especially with Noggin making some big advancements to his game from everything that I hear, I think that this matchup is the right time and the right place for both fighters to really kind of start out in this season well.
Yeah, Noggin Joy made that advancement, and I really can't wait till he fares up against Keza.
Yeah, trying to sort out. They're just nearly there. Jesus, we'll have it.
That's not a problem, brother. That's not a problem. These are live events, right? These things happen, my guys. It is what it is. But Keza, Noggin, rest assured they will be there any moment. Of course, threw it on them a little bit short notice. As far as they were concerned, they had a fight or two ahead of them. So we appreciate those guys getting ready very quickly. We have Mr. Humbledink in the chat saying, "I'm taking a drink of tequila sunrise every time Doc says interesting. I'm already smashed. Be safe, my brother. Be safe." That's not a good thing.
Interesting.
There were 10 empty balls on the floor while on the stream.
Alright, well, just gonna give this stream once more. Okay, we're all good. Nope. Alright, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reload that stream once more, and then we'll hopefully, once this is all sorted, we'll get straight into this fight. Keza, typically a striker, part of the FSD camp, so he's gonna be well rounded. Plays the likes of Ricardo and Fadinator. Noggin, on the other hand, a classical striker all the way through.
Am I right in saying now? Of course, I mean, with them being part of the DB side, he trains with the likes of Chinsworth, who is a phenomenal striker. Obviously, Toasty Toes that we saw a little bit earlier on didn't go his way. But am I right in saying that now Hammer is part of that camp as well?
Yeah, Hammer is
yeah,
part of that camp.
Yeah, I mean, that guy is one of the more experienced grapplers on the game, period. So I'd be interested to see what effects that's had on the camp. High-profile name, very, very seasoned and experienced player. I think that sort of signing, really, really is going to pay dividends for them as a camp.
Yeah, it'll really help people like Noggin who really need to break that barrier. The former ASFL champion, to give them guidance, tell them what to do, and teach them about grappling and stuff like that. It'll really benefit Noggin in the long term, but it's all about the short term now here. Let's see what he can do against Keza.
Let's see what lessons have been learned. I think that Keza traditionally being a striker, he's not shied away from the grappling in any way, but he does get his bell rung early. My God.
That happened.
That it did, brother, that it did. And just to point out now, of course, this is onto the main card. So 5-star fighters are now allowed. We do apologize for a little bit of the picture quality issues. It doesn't seem to be impacting too much, Doc, and thank God, because there isn't a moment that could be missed in this fight.
Yeah, they do seem to be going wild. Have just got word about that the Jakey fight is also set up, so hopefully we should be moving on to that after this one. But this one is just a brawl and a half here. Jesus.
Well, from what I can see here early, that Noggin is using the jab very, very well. Please don't lag. Please.
Oh my God!
Kick up there, Jesus. Front kick following retaliation. Spin kick there. A straight also lands. Stuns Max Holloway, and both of these guys using their intended fighters like utter beasts. They are. This is. It's featherweight. Just Volkanovski isn't wearing champ shorts. Interestingly enough, now though.
Oh my God.
Down.
Oh my God.
That's DB Noggin 2.0. He's got Max Holloway as a wrestler now, Ginge.
He was shooting like a bitch.
This is all there, and just on a side note of the stream, hopefully it can sort itself over time. Lovely little stun there, giving a bit of body damage now. Keza on top. Ian going into backside here as the stream starts through, and looks like we're going to go back to backside here, arguably wanting top mount.
Well, I didn't expect this at all.
It's been a wild fight. Definitely been wild.
Well,
shame on the picture quality issues, but I imagine that Noggin's going to want to try and work his way back to the feet. I don't mind watching the fight in green if we need to, as long as it stays stable, Ginge. As long as it stays stable.
I agree. I 100% agree. It's been an entertaining fight so far.
Ray has done. Keza now being the one to take it down. It does go for a gap there. Lovely denial. Goes again for the top mount. Does get denied each way. Both of them having 2 denies apiece now. With a minute left on the clock, it definitely favours into the favour of Keza purely because he's doing in top mount and raining down this heavy ground and pound. Lovely slip there though, and probably going to look for a gap here.
Oh. Well, it just seems that Noggin is kind of panicking under the top mount here. He just want to get spring, and you could tell he's kind of starting to get very anxious about being knocked out, so he's kind of spamming transitions with no stamina. So there we go, and he's out.
Well, I have heard word from the back that when these guys are finished up, we will be moving on to, of course, the featured fight of this evening between Jakey and Terrence McKinney. These guys are now ready, so just thought I'd let everybody know that, of course, but these guys still have potentially another 2 rounds ahead of them, Doc. The way that they've been fighting, I mean, they've been hitting so hard, even the camera's off tilt. They're having a bit of recording issues.
Yeah, these two are just going at it. We're seeing a bit in green as well. It's kind of blowing into Volkanovski's shorts, but the uppercuts are straight all around. It seems like every time they decide to engage, the stream decides on a flying knee.
Oh.
Jesus!
I have to say, it was a great adjustment from Keza to take the top mount and get the strikes on the ground there, because it completely turned his fight on its head.
I'm a little bit more hesitant, right? But when Noggin starts to land shots just like that, he is going to start getting that confidence back. Maybe too much confidence. Oh, fucking cold.
A body kick, a counter from into the elbow. He throws the body kick in boxing range. Kez's response is just to elbow Paul Volkanovski in the face, wiping him out. Absolutely cold there. Jesus.
Can
we get a redo?
I mean, I'm sure these guys will face down the road there, Doc, but yeah, I mean, especially the way that Noggin came out in this fight, he's quite clearly had massive advancements in his game, but Kez has shown his veteran savvy, finding an opening for that finish and taking it with both hands, brother.
Yeah, he took it absolutely brilliantly. He started out very hectic in that first round, and then taking it down to the ground, and then in that second round, it was a very, very back and forth fight until that elbow came out, and as Noggin tried that wrongly timed kick in boxing range, and it knocked him clean out there.
Well, Ginger, Doc, primetime supporters around this freaking world, we now have Jakey, BFAP motherfucking Jakey, up against the one and only Terrence T-Rex McKinney. As I said, these guys have a 100% finish rate, whether it be in the virtual kind of fighting platform or whether it be in true professional mixed martial arts. Shout out once again to Jakey, once again to Terrence McKinney for coming together for this beautiful cause. A cause truly worth fighting for, guys. I'm going to keep saying that all night, and make sure, as we mentioned, to follow the link, the GoFundMe. Every single little helps, my guys. Spread awareness, bring some funds, and help out the people who, help make the lives of people with blind or visual impairments more easy day to day.
Hit you with the Terrence McKinney.
Yeah. Perfectly agree, but obviously these guys doing something very, very, very nice and very humbling.
Just getting set up now. There we go.
Yeah, there we are. They're ready, brother. They're ready. As you see, if you can, Doc, get rid of the primetime logo. Oh, the moment, my man, it's over Terrence McKinney's face, and then we will get going with it, bro.
There we go. The program no longer covering Terrence McKinney's safe, and these two are good to go whenever they want to. Both of them are going to be playing blind, as we've stated earlier on tonight. Jakey playing Jacare Souza, Terrence McKinney as Kevin Holland here tonight.
We've seen the Kevin Holland come up here earlier in the card. He didn't do too well, but we haven't seen a Jacare Souza. We haven't seen a Jacare Souza in a pretty long time, if I'm not mistaken.
This is probably one of the first Jacare Souzas you'll see around the place. He ain't a particularly high tier pick among the competitive scenes, but this is an exhibition match, and this is one hell of a fight to have.
Definitely so, brother. Definitely so. He looks like he's having a little bit of an issue with the camera. He's going to get that sorted as you're speaking right now, so bear with it. Just going to... This is the difficulties of streaming, my guys. It happens. It happens. Trust me. It's one of those ones. He'll get there with it now. One of the things about streaming through Discord, its temperamental app is good old Discord.
Yep. Sometimes it just randomly crashes on you. Sometimes the cameras don't work. It's the joys of technology. It's a fun old time. It's.
Well, we need to look at these pictures because obviously Jacare Souza, he can't strike, but his main forte is on the ground. He got the subs, he's got the jiu-jitsu. Whereas Kevin Holland is a bit of a balanced fighter. He's got the ground, but he's also got the kickboxing. He's got the BJJ, he's got the submissions. So I'm excited to see what to do with this, Lenny.
Say that again, my man. I missed it.
I'm excited what they do with the picture of Jacare Souza being a jiu-jitsu, whereas Kevin Holland's a bit more balanced.
Yeah, for sure. It's Kevin Holland, right? He's going to have a lot of hands, but so does Souza, to be honest with you. And he's got that spin kick to the head that a lot of people forget about. So, I mean, the simple fact that do both of them have it? Either one of you know?
Both of them have the death kick. I mean, I'm not expecting a lot of grappling. I'm not expecting a lot of anything here. I'm really interested to see how this is going to be because they're both going to be blind. So you could so it could just be 3 rounds of them walking in the opposite corners, hitting air. It's going to be like watching Div 1 sites, and I'm all for it because 1, it's a good chew. 2, it's going to be hilarious, and 3, you got Terrence McKinney in one corner, so it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, and once again, massive shout out. Terence McKinney for coming through on this. It's quite a beautiful cause. I think that the anticipations are high and we're about to get going to it. I think that his camera may have frozen up for a moment, but we're going to go with it, guys. Know that they're wearing these bloody blindfolds, all right?
Oh, this will be fun. This will be funny. Let's get an iArmy in the chat here, boys. Just a second.
Yes, sir. Check it out at the moment. Once again, the support that you guys have already shown, been fantastic, guys. If you can continue to show that support, it massively appreciated. Of course, every
That's
little
it.
goes a long way.
There you go.
There's the
Terence McKinney.
blindfolds.
There's the blindfold.
There they are.
I love it, bro. I love it. This is we will see. No, Jakey is not. no,
Get that blindfold on, Jakey.
I think his
Oh
camera
no, it's
just
frozen.
froze.
It's frozen. It's frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, his camera's frozen. If you cannot tell, he is currently throwing.
Slowly creeping along the cage now, going away from each other. How much commentary we can actually do for this type of fight is kind of insane. Head
Oh
kick,
my
lads! A lead hook, another lead hook, jab straight.
They both got in range, fired that head kick. Oh my god.
The uppercuts? The lead.
Yeah, just-
Let him down. Let
Okay.
him.
Oh Jesus. T-Rex is actually starting to land really nicely, bro. A bunch of kicks to
It's
the
the
head.
stamina that I'm a bit concerned about there. Oh my
Oh, this is
god.
great. Oh, this is...
It's a unique experience, you've got to admit. As we've stated, it's for a good cause, it's for Elsa's army, it's raising
Yeah.
awareness to the blind, and here we are. Lovely job. A couple of the jab straights. Now he's coming back. Jakey's
Oh.
still on getting a beat and up, but the
Oh.
uppercuts, and he gets to knock down. What happens if we go down to the ground?
Oh my god. Elsie's army gets the finish over Terence McKinney. That was a lot quicker than I anticipated. I'll be
That
honest
was
with you.
a lot quicker.
They somehow found that range, bro. They somehow found the ability to let those hands, Ginger. And Old Schmied in the chat says, "This is art." You are right, my man. All for a good cause. Shout out BFAP Jakey. Shout out Terence McKinney. Both absolute legends. Trust me, that it's a fantastic thing that these guys have done here this evening. And once
Yeah.
again, they put on an entertaining fight for as long as it lasted, man. For as long as it lasted.
Yeah, well, it was amazing. Obviously, respect to them. It was great entertainment, and it's obviously for a good cause. Don't forget to support that link, whether you donate, whether you share, whether you see whatever you can do, just helps the cause. Just do whatever you can, because it is for amazing. It's raising awareness, and it's for just a great cause in general. So, respect to them too. But that was fun.
Yeah, for sure. Once again, shout out everybody that was involved in that B3 blackout for all those awesome graphics that we showed at the beginning of the event. BFAP Jakey, and of course the one and only Terence McKinney. It's been a really, really fun night so far there, Doc, and that's after that massive high, we are now going to be moving on into the next one, I believe, brother, which is Meeseeks up against, was it Mystics? Up against Jackson.
Meeseeks versus, like correction to the card there, it's going to be Mr. B3 Gemini, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who's always around in the back for the last couple of cards, always doing a fantastic job making sure everybody's ready when they need to be. This is going to be an bantamweight fight, but looks like we're going to have Marlon Barrera versus a Cody Garbrandt here tonight.
Well, obviously, Martin Vera got the kicks. He's got the very, very nice rigid kickboxing style. He's got the health stats. But on the other side, you got Cody. Chin's very bad, but the power is unmatched. If your chin is dwindling against Cody, he will definitely capitalize and get the finish on you.
Well, oh goddamn, yeah, no, for sure, man. The B3 boys especially, right? They bring a certain sort of madness to this
They
cage.
bring power.
Yeah, they do. Look, they go full Garbrandt every time, but their chin more often than not seems to stand the test of time. Garbrandt, on the other hand, a little bit compromised. Marlon is one of the more durable fighters in this weight class, there, Doc, and I feel like that's going to be a big factor, whether or not Cody can maintain his speed and his advantages early throughout the course of the fight, or whether or not Marlon can start breaking him down.
Marlon plays at like a very slow pace here. The way you want to play Marlon is you want to establish your shots early on, you want to play slow, you want to play methodical. Garbrandt, on the other hand, it requires you can go any speed you want. You can go from really slow to really fast. However, you've just got to make sure, as you mentioned, the chin doesn't go bust before your opponent does it. And Gemini's fantastic at doing that. Part of the B3 camp, he very much knows when to engage, when not to engage, when to throw punches, and that's your core effort here as a Garbrandt. He's knowing when and what to throw, and doing that so far as he's having a lot of success here. However, Meeseeks is also making sure to be firing back at all cylinders here, Ginge.
Yeah, well, whenever you think B3, you think block breaking and counters. So, obviously, in the PS Grand Prix, Gemini probably gave me a very, very close fight because the counters and the block breaking. He likes the slip straight overhand. He just did it there, and it's a very, very good combo. It'll knock you down, it'll knock you out in just a split second. So, if he's able to use them both to his advantage, I see him getting the win here now.
Yeah, for sure. You can see that right now with Marlon Vera, he's attacking the body early. I think that's a smart move, trying to take away some of the speed. It never really stops. It never really stops the B3 boys, though. They say stamina what and continue to throw hands.
I do not care. Now going forward again does Gemini. He's hoping to land as hard as he can. He does so, gets to stun the overhand, gets to knock down. Seeing the up kick, doesn't decide to do it. A spinning heel kick though, digs down the body, doesn't get it. And you got to imagine, if you're Gemini, you know that your opponent's going to be wanting to pull back, and so maybe engaging a couple more straight shots may be the idea here.
Yeah. Oh, this is just a fight. Oh, and he's not jumping. One thing you don't do in prime time is you play with your food, and not only does it risk your chance of losing, but it also messes with your rank points, as you mentioned about 5 times before. So please don't play with your food, because it also gives me some anxiety.
And there we go. Now into top mount, looking to land all the shots he can. That block is gone to Kingdom Come. Decides to disengage, knowing that maybe he's better back on the feet. And here we are, getting another knockdown, jumping on his opponent again. Probably going to hope for another finish. That block of Marlon Vera is decimated. Gets off again. Marlon Vera's chin can only take so much. He's looking like Cody's trying to give it all that he has, including the kitchen sink here.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my.
B3 Classic, Gemini. God damn.
That was a killer shot. Marlon Vera was expecting a type of hooked, maybe a rounded shot, but he was not expecting a spinning heel kick to the face. Straight on the chin. Jesus.
Smeed in the chat makes a really good point. Cheeto can be taking a beating in this game, and it's hard to finish him cold. Moments later, the B3 boys find a way to do it. Gemini with that spinning kick. I mean, just absolutely sensational.
Yeah, wow.
It was a fantastic fight all around, very well adjusted across the board. Fantastic fight. Now we're going to stay on the PlayStation side once again. Now in our co-main event. Jakey's fight was the co-main, but it got moved about. So this will be Marshall Rowe versus GK Truth in the bantamweight division. By the looks of it, we're going to have a Peter Yan versus TJ Dillashaw. You know for a fact Reaper's going to be in chat saying #ban Yan.
Well, obviously Dillashaw got the head movement. He's got very good switch stance. Legs won't matter. Whereas Yan is the complete opposite. His switch stance isn't the best, if I'm not wrong. And his legs are only at 88. You take out the legs, you take out the power, you take out a lot of other things. So,
yeah.
If I'm TJ, yeah, legs. I'm going for legs.
Apologies, slight correction on what I was saying earlier about the co-main. The co-main will now be Grains versus Mist. Apologies for missing that fight.
No worries, you confused the shit out of me. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother.
I confused the shit out of myself.
It's all good, man. Well, into it, once again, the fights are going to continue to heat up, man, as you move up these cards. These guys are all established within Primetime MMA. It's still early in the season, and everybody is hungry to get those points in their favor, trying to put themselves for an early consideration at a title shot. GK The Truth believes in his boxing. once again, time and time again, has told me he's my favorite fighter. He still has to fully prove it to me, although he is definitely up there, Ginger, because he's he brings it, bro. He does bring it. He seems to back his skills and do it everywhere, but the same can be said about Mars Rival War. I mean, just very, very seasoned players that have a lot of tools at their disposal, and they always look for the finishes, as you can see right here.
Yeah,
Well,
so much
landing
Rival
that,
War.
hook kick there. Now going for the ground and pound position. DK Trooper's got to dig deep already. He's got knocked down. He's already down in the round. Does manage to get the 9, land these elbows nicely, but that does nothing to do for a knockdown. He needs to either look to get up on the feet or look for a transition to really start taking the action. So far, Martial Rival, though, again, that half guard, and they're probably going to be looking for a top mount position here, Jidge.
Well, yeah, obviously Martial Rival War. He's been in the PS division since at the start, if I'm not wrong. He's very experienced. He knows what to do, when to do it. He's been in these situations before, so I'm excited. I think he'll be able to compose. I think he'll be able to get top mount, get the damage done.
Yeah,
So,
he's got to take his time with it, of course, though. We've seen in the past, GK The Truth has been able to get submissions off his back a number of times, has a lot of, a lot of savvy when it comes to how he kind of approaches the ground game here, Doc. But obviously he doesn't want to be underneath Mars Rival War for too long, because every second he's down here, seconds are ticking away off that clock.
Yeah, and he's already been knocked down, and so if you want to start and try and make your way back into at least this round, then you want to get onto the feet, maybe even get on top, and that's exactly what he's doing now. This is where you want to be if you are DK The Truth here. Just you're looking to do that bit of damage because you've already been knocked down, so you're most likely not going to win this round. So it's about making sure you don't get too damaged, securing the round. But as I say, that flip happens here, and Martial Rival now on top.
well, we're just going to see a very composed grappling game plan here from Martial Rival War, which is what you want to do against Jan, because obviously you're going to be heavily outstanding on the feet. So hopefully he's executing this plan very well here and he's getting what he needs to do done.
Oh, now going back to that ground and pound towards the end. This has been a consistent method throughout this entire fight so far, following the knockdown, just digging deep each individual time, looking to land anything with strikes he can. As this round closes out, you've got to imagine Jan's got to come into this mindset the following time, very carefully considered, very calm and composed here.
Yeah, well, that's definitely Martial Rival War's round. He was very composed in that. He knew it was just a very calm and composed round for him.
Yeah, for sure. All heats up, right? These lighter weight classes, Doc, they tend to have the ability to go for longer. They're still very explosive. They can still finish the fights, but the cardio really does help play a factor in that. Of course, means that they're more durable. It's about how you approach that. It's about wearing your opponent down, and I feel like that's what these guys have been trying to do. You can see their stamina is really good, but damage-wise, it's going to start to mount up. They have had a number of good connections, at least when they're on the feet early.
Yeah, Martial Rival already starting out again very nicely. He's playing that in and out game, working that leg of Jan, and then blitzing the head straight afterwards. He knows that he doesn't want to be in the pocket of Peter Yan here, and so he's just making sure to always be calm here, Leonard.
For sure. Once again, I'd like to see some of the signature movement out of Dillashaw, especially since he seems to be wanting to play kind of the almost the matador in a lot of these exchanges. From GK The Truth, he obviously needs to become a little bit more active pressure-wise with Yan. He's just more durable. He's a little bit OP in this weight class, and if he's able to take the fight to Dillashaw, he may just kind of win that war of attrition.
Dillashaw playing a bit overly aggressive. That stamina going to that short-term stamina going to about halfway there. Again, he just seems to be like very good at following up his shots, and that's really doing Dillashaw the favour here. Now working that leg again. He's engaging fantastically. It's that in and out motion, and Jan doesn't really seem to have an answer for it currently.
Well, he did open up with a couple of combinations, but then went a little too mad. Now gets caught a number of times, and the up kick of Doom allows him to stay in it for a little bit longer. Once again, durable fighter, so his recovery will be quick there, Doc. But right now he's got a Dillashaw that's primed and kind of laser focused on his opponent's mark, which is quite clearly his chin.
Yeah, his opponent is doing a fantastic job. Blocks all those shots there. Uppercut, ducks down, doing a fantastic read of the head movement. Now we're going to this position of the clinch and knees. Their punches can happen, as well as the knees to leg, which do permanent leg health damage to a lot of people. In fact, they don't do much, but it's very significant if you get a couple of knees there. Now we're a minute 40 left on the clock. Dillashaw's going back to his tried and true method of kicking that leg and then coming in with a shot on top here.
Nice weak lands another hook. Just narrowly evades that ducking roundhouse to the head. Well, we will have to see, man. I think this is a fight of very, very narrow margins. And interestingly enough, it appears that Mars Rival War with TJ Dillashaw seems to be in a much better position in virtually all kind of regards. So the only thing that's kind of still very, very even is their stamina health-wise. Yan is starting to fade.
Yeah, it does seem to be the case as Dillashaw's getting the better engagement overall. He's more composed, he's making the better reads, and that's giving DK True some issues. But as I say, that fantastic read there. The going to the top man now going to be raining some ground and pound. Lovely job though, slipping off over the side as he runs out of gas tank there. 15 seconds left on the clock into round 2, and all Dillashaw needs to do is cruise to this part before he can then really start exploding it into the third here.
Well, another very, very much action-packed round. This round seemed to play out a lot more on the feet. I feel like they've done their work on the mat. Maybe we will see a return in the third and final round, but they seem to be content and looking for those extra points here, Doc.
Yep, it does seem to be the case indeed. However, the overall course of this fight has definitely been Yan playing on the back foot. He's the one always trying to be catching up. But it does also seem like Dillashaw, whenever he engages, it's a bit of a scary motion. As I say that, he gets that engagement perfectly done, not taking any damage of his own, trying to do damage there and also getting the knockdown. Goes to the takedown, doesn't get it, and now again, he's controlling that black line, gets the stun, uppercut following suit, and now he's going for the finish.
Yeah, he might have it here, bro. I mean, once again, the defense from GK The Truth is really, really good, especially in those dire situations. I mean, I feel like it's instinctual at that point. He isn't thinking, his bell has been rung, and he just kind of does what his body tells him, and it seems to play out. But now there's a calm, calculated approach to raining down ground and pound that's doing nicely for Mars Rival War. It's a nice end, or nice start to this round, I should say, for him.
That's a lovely start, getting knocked down early. It puts your opponent's confidence quite low. Finally checks that leg kick, but may have been a little too late here after all the leg kicks have been thrown. The block is kind of broken now, only managing just to lunge out of the way. Someone who's come to this fight with so much confidence, you got to know this. He's going to have to really dig deep here. Lovely head kick though.
Couple of spin kicks. I feel like Mars Rival War is being a little bit unorthodox with the way he's setting it up. He's getting that block down, throwing in like the spinning back fists. Nice little slip off there, but as you can see, the Truth maybe just hasn't done enough right now. Output-wise, it's all been kind of one-way traffic at a certain point, and Mars Rival War once again just moments away from a finish. There it is.
He just fires that knee straight off there, Ginge. He had a fantastic the second and third round, keeping on the pace at all. And then as soon as they got into that clinch, it was just a knee to the head, and he was out cold there. Jesus.
That was normally you don't see that happen because people don't normally defend it, get the deflection, but on the rare occasion it shows you if that hits you, you can be out just like that.
Yeah, I actually think that he was setting it up a little bit earlier in that fight. He was throwing punches in some of those clinching exchanges up against the cage, and then later on, when it mattered the most, he fired the highest damage strike, and yeah, lights fucking out. But talking about lights out, these two guys are no stranger to turning that switch off in their opponent, separating them from their consciousness. It is the one and only Vex Grains up against LW Mist, our new crowned co-main event. Like I said, highlight reel fighters doesn't really quite cut it when you talk about these two guys, Doc.
Yeah, you got to imagine these two are both fantastic strikers. They've just got utter control. They're really impressive with how they do it.
for sure. Well, before we before we get into that one, Ginger, I think it's a good time to once again just kind of forward it on. The main event of this evening, BFAP, Dirty Dave up against Brady. Of course, Brady lone wolfing it out here, but doing really well of his own accord, man. Like I said, there's a lot of tools at their disposal. I believe Dirty Dave only has one loss so far on his resume this season, and of course that was to the current champion in EK Naz.
False. I'm
What?
one. I'm also one of them.
Oh,
I'm an L.
Did you beat Brady as well? Sorry, did you beat Dave as well? Oh, you did on PlayStation though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
Okay,
what
on the
I'm bragging
Xbox side of things, my man.
Bragging
On the
about
Xbox side of things. It was a nice win.
Obviously Brady's been started against him before against Dave, and I beat Dave before in prime time under the lights. So he just needs to have that hope he can do it again, because obviously Dave is the favourite here. He has the experience, he has the grab, and he has to stand up. But we need to hope Brady can also Brady also has very good grab and I think it can compete with Dave's on a good night. So he needs to have that hope and just pray that he can have that grab win on the same level as Dave tonight.
I feel like when, we were speaking earlier, Ginge, about Pigeon, or we were speaking a little bit earlier about Humble Haze, how they were kind of like veterans of the scene that have had moments of greatness in the past. I feel like Brady has fallen into that category, and he hasn't been as active as of recent, but definitely seems to be heating up right now. He's off to an absolutely fantastic start this season, of course. This is all on the Xbox side of things. And, currently Brady is 1-0, came out, got a finish in his first one, and looked very, very good, and that's why he finds himself in a position now up against the 4-1 Dirty Dave on the Xbox side, at least. And obviously, like you said, even the fact he holds a win over him, even though Dave is a big name, I think that gives him a lot of confidence, especially since he's undefeated this season.
Oh yeah, Dave is one of the best people who ever even talks to prime time scene. He's got a legacy. If he retires now, he will go down as one of the best people to ever go under prime time. And Brady's got a win over him. That's going to give you some confidence. That's going to give you a bit of hope. So I hope he can pull it off again, because it really is a comeback kid story, beating a big favourite twice in a row.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really hope Brady can pull this one out.
Honestly, if Brady does manage to pull this one out, he is like on the short list of people who are eligible to to challenge. We're still very early on. He would be 2-0, and he would be he would get that over the guy that's currently ranked first. He's the number one contender right now, is Dirty Dave, or in that number one ranked spot outside the champion, of course. So with all of that being said, though, Doc, I believe that Vex Grains and LW Mist are biting at the bit and ready to throw some of that absolute beautiful destruction that they bring to the octagon.
This is going to be one hell of a fight, but so we're going to have Victor Belfort versus Robbie Lawler. As you can tell, 8-6, but that always differs under the bright lights. Both of these guys are notorious for their striking prowess. Miss will come forward, kick your legs in several times, throw a couple kicks to leg, all whilst bashing your skull in. Grimes, on the other hand, a bit like PL1 Hayes, is a notorious boxer across the board, very well adjusted in all aspects of the game, part of the Vex camp as well, so you know for a fact he means business, training him like a boss man. So with this middleweight fight, let's see how this plays out. This is going to be one hell of a fight here, Ginge.
Well, yeah, if we're going off just picks, we can all, I would say we can all agree that Robbie Lawler is by a good bit the best pick. He's got better cardio, because Vitor is basically I would describe him as a 1-round, 2-round fighter. So,
but you know as well as I do. You do know as well as I do, Ginger, that's why Great Mist loves him. He likes the fact that, Great Mist probably has more hours into Vitor Belfort than anybody else, and he has a lot of finishes with him. He channels the power of Jesus, and more often than not, that's able to, bring his opponents to the light. But Robbie Lawler is a man that doesn't like to just, win fights. He likes to take people's souls, and I feel like this is one of those fights with slightly compromised chins and big power on both sides of the equation, where lights out could definitely be on the cards. sooner rather than later, Doc. Sooner rather than later.
Yeah, well, Mist already working the body of Grains here. As you can see, he's landed that body kick several times. It is towards the closed eye, so it doesn't do as much damage. But either way, you're still getting kicked into the body every single time. Love retaliation, though, back by Lorna. Now starting to make a read. Does catch it. Does get a knee to the face. Goes on the block instead. And a head kick following suit here.
Yeah, well, you need to realise too that Robbie Lawler also has that power. This is just a matter of chin and cardio. So, and to be honest, I think Robbie Lawler, I believe Robbie Lawler wins in both of them. And I believe he's got speed as well. So, it's just a matter of can Miss pick his shots right? Because the
sound of a man so scared that he's going to get hit. It really is the case when you see these two fight. As soon as one of them gets stunned, you go, oh, who's going to die? Because you don't know. The body health of Grains is definitely going lower. It should be noted that Grains has got the stun, but it's seeming to stun to the head. But it's seeming like Mist is working the body, Grains is working the head, and so far Mist's game plan seems to be working brilliantly here.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to train for, to be honest with you, because he doesn't really fight like anybody else. Even though he's a forward pressure, even though he likes to break your block down and whatever else, he's just unorthodox. But with that being said, that unorthodox shit can really lead you into a couple of shots. They're gingers. Once again, Robbie Lawler looking to take his opponent's head off.
One thing we all know about Mist is he likes to use his body and leg kicks to set up the head kicks. And I've been seeing a lot of body kicks where you just got to predict a head kick coming soon. But,
spin heel kick. Mist is kind of like, I don't know if someone's going to give me shit if they come out, but you know the B3 boys, you've seen Gemini, he reminds you of the B3 boys, but he's the predecessor to that. He's one of the originals of it, and the B3 do it in their own aspect, and so does Mist. He does it more with the kicks here, but as I say that, he's looking like he's going to get finished here, only just surviving, but he doesn't.
No, you're absolutely right. Right, back in the day, it was names quite literally. Bang Bang and Great Mist was cut from the same cloth. You both knew what was being brought to the table. They live and die by the sword. Vex Grains, though, man, that kid is coming into his own, Ginger, and you can see he looked dialed in here this evening. He took the fight seriously, went with a lesser pick, respectively, because he knew that that's what Mist wanted to do, I would imagine, and I feel like he executed well here, found his shots, and got the finish nice and quickly. Lots of points for him.
Yeah, well, obviously Grains is very much more experienced now. He's 2-0 in SFL, one against Caliber, one against Gemini. So he's very experienced. He's got the composure down. He's got the shots down. He's got the shot selection down. He's got the picks down. It's just a matter of executing the game plan, and he did that very well there.
For sure, brother, for sure. Well, Doc, my man, it takes us beautifully onto the main event. We've spoken about it quite at length right now, and I feel like everybody knows what's been brought to the table. Two high-level players with very, very diverse skill sets. I would imagine that we're going to see a full array of mixed martial arts. They do also, interestingly enough, have 5 rounds to work with, as it is the main event.
Yeah, 5 rounds long to go. This is going to be an interesting time as we've hyped it all up. These two know each other inside and out. However, Dave's typically the wrestler. Brady is typically the striker. How that could all change. We've seen how it worked last time around when Dave came out. He struck using Khabib. So let's find out tonight.
Well, decision Dave in his prime. Khabib 5 rounds. Oh, this is.
You just call him Decision Dave.
Yes.
I feel like he's tried to work away from that name, to be honest with you. He's been getting a lot of finishes. I almost kind of compare him to an Usman. Semi in personality and also in his fighting skills. Because he started out really, honestly, boring, like at first. But like he's kind of like, he's developed his skill set to a point now where he can do it all. And he's not just looking to eke out victories by mounting up time. And I don't mean to be like overly harsh, but he has the ability to get the finishes now, and I feel like he's got the confidence to get those finishes, and he goes after it heavily.
Yeah, no, he's built that fight IQ up. He's built his overall personality to really adapt in different styles to make sure that he isn't going to get clipped on the feet, so he can stay in those positions more Ginger, so he can really start set up his striking first, then get a takedown, set up the striking again, then get the takedown afterwards following suit.
Yeah, well, one thing we have to commend Dave on lately, as of late, is his leg kicks. They're very unpredictable. He knows exactly when to throw them because the guy is a walking MMA genius.
No, the guy just spends too many hours in the practice room, I think you find. The man's probably spent more hours in the practice room staring at it, striking recording, instead of actually in the game wrestling people or even striking with people here.
Oh yeah, but we're seeing the game plan exactly as you would think straight away. On the ground in a minute, Dave on top. Yeah, you can't really say anything else. You expected this to happen, didn't you?
Well, we saw how many fights they had between 20 wins to Brady, 58 into the favour of Dave. That's not to count. Maybe they turned off their fight records halfway through. You're never particularly sure. You also got to imagine, as you mentioned earlier, Ginger, he has got a win over Dave in the past. So that means you could still do it. It doesn't, anything can change. And as you can see, lovely reversal there. Now taking top, now going to full guard. Now I'm probably going to go side control, but decides to disengage here.
Well, yeah, that's what you want to do against Dave. You know where he is most well versed, and that's on the ground. He knows he's got perfect reaction time. He's got great turnout and side control. So if you're doing anything, you want to stay off the mat. Special power, you got that striking advantage. You got the kickboxing, got the power. So more of that from Brady. And he's also checking the leg kicks, which does affect the takedowns, if I am not mistaken. So
it affects power. It apparently affects takedowns. I'm pretty sure. I don't know the correct stats on it, but at least it definitely feels like it may even affect footwork. If I'm not sure, it may, or it may just be a placebo, but I'm not too sure here. As we come down to the last minute and a half of this round, though, seems like Dave's leading the fight in both the head health and overall ability to win this fight. Cardio's similar, the same, but it should also be noted that the leg health of Dave is slightly lower than Brady. Brady managed to get a couple of leg kicks of his own, as well as leg checks. Finally, does hit the block there, but doesn't manage to get past two to do the head damage.
Well, Brady is... he's trying to get the head health back, and he's using very nice pressure to do it. He's using his range very well, as noticed as well. He's also using tapes. So if he keeps on going like this, I don't see why he wouldn't be able to go on against Dave. It's been a fairly well contested bout so far. First round probably goes to Dave, but not by much.
Not by much, I would agree. It's lovely leg check there. Now a high crotch and a slam going straight into the stats. 11 to 9 total significant strikes in the favour of Dave throughout 3 takedowns, and a minute control time into the favour of Dave. That is definitely round to 1 to Dave.
I mean, Dave is just so calculated. He knows what to do. And it's just, he executes it perfectly. So I'm not really expecting him to lose here, but I'm also not expecting Brady to lose as well, because that guy is just the underdog. He's a comeback kid. So you never know. It's the prime time guarantee, dog.
Yeah, well, Brady's still got it in him. He's the one pushing forward the pace. Lovely little pull back on the hook as he moves to the side. Does throw a kick in boxing range, and we've seen how badly that's worked in the past. It likes the noggin, so he wants to make sure he doesn't keep that in check, especially when someone like Dave. Lovely job though of Dave, making a read on the whiff leg kick, going for the single leg, getting it, and then turning it straight down here.
Oh no, he's got that first deny.
That first deny is arguably the hardest. Does manage to get it into sprawl. Dave, knowing that you either going to pull to side control, maybe a half guard, goes to the half guard, and that's exactly what you're going to do with Brady. He now wants to probably move to full guard to try to then start building up. But against Dave, that's incredibly hard to do, just because the way he understands tonight, he knows how the geometer works. He knows what he's looking for in his favour, because one of the things that you do as you become more and more advanced in your wrestling game is you just understand what people are looking for most of the time, and you get these instincts a part of you, and you go, okay, you're going to go for that, now you're going to go for this, and it's just making those reads over and over again. Ginge.
Yeah, it's just when you're grappling, it's all about reads. You need to notice the tendencies, you need to know what they're doing when they're doing it, the grapple advantage, just overall trends in the grappling game, and Dave's doing that very, very well.
Now gets another
No way
deny,
deny
making the core fakes, reading them each way. The Kimura is fake, never really attempting it. He's just trying to straighten it. And then you have go back into the sprawl. A lovely get up though does put Brady on the more dominant position against the cage, but decides to disengage, walking back from his opponent. And Dave's already looking to circle out away from that black line. Poirier doing a good job to meet him there. However, it seems like Poirier now being forced back here as the round closes to an end. It seems like Poirier's going to have to really dig deep coming to this third round. He's slowly grinding his opponent down. He's not doing many major damage. You haven't really seen a major stunt or rock just yet, but the overall damage is definitely going to seemingly add up into the favour of David.
Yeah. It's just the thing with Dave is he slowly brings down one star at a time. Because in the first round it was slightly the head, now slightly the body, now slightly the block. So what I notice about Dave, he goes in to win a fight. He doesn't come in to win a fight, he comes in to win it dominantly by a good bit. So
So
I did that
very
really well.
close in terms of significant strikes, although it definitely seemed different overall. You got to imagine with the grappling included, the total strikes as well going into the favour of Dale, but the overall damage would lead that to be around 2 into the favour. Can't completely put him out of it. As I said, though, he lands the lead hook after the whiff leg kick, and we're back into round 3 already engaging. Seems like this is the round where everything sort of starts to speed up. We're done by the start of this already.
well, yeah. Dave is also using very, very safe boxing. He's using only 2 pieces, maybe 3 pieces if he's feeling a bit risky. So he's not really there to risk it. He's there to play safe, get damage, and in and out boxing, just to get small advantages and then use the advantages you got the feet to the ground to get bigger advantages.
And goes for a takedown, does get it denied. Finally, fantastic job by Brady there making the reads. But with that being said, we have front kicks, you have body shots also being fired off by Dave now, and he's very calm and composed. He knows that, okay, the takedowns may not be working. I'm going to now start unleashing on the feet, and it's doing some hell of damage to the head there, Poirier.
Oh yeah, it's just oh.
He gets stunned, but he makes a slight recovery there. Brady having some success across the board. He's trying to make the reads now, firing the body shots as well. Halfway through round 3, it definitely seems like both of these guys are engaging. A takedown shot instantly now goes straight down, slams him, doing a bit of damage to the body as well as the stem, and we enter into a sprawl here. Brady knowing that getting trapped inside control is a bad idea. The get up, pushing him towards the cage, could go for an up get up if he wanted to. Now he definitely could, but Dave's gonna be aware of that. He's also got the GA, now transition straight to backside where he could get some major damage. Instead though, Ginge getting the get up here.
Well, you can't sleep on Dave's sub game. Whenever you're giving out stupid transactions like that, you've got to realise Dave has good sub offense. So just be careful, because you could just get tapped like that with Dave.
Well, that backside position seemingly being the one which they're going to end up being in for the rest of this round so far. Goes back to backside, and probably going to be one of the top mount, but Brady seems very happy just laying in his position. He feels like it's more in control. It's sprawl, interestingly enough. Got to imagine he does control a couple ones, but only 50 seconds off on the clock. Knowing Dave, he's not particularly submission. I think the comparison to Usman is very, very correct in that regard. To quote Looney earlier on, it's about making sure he's there to wrestle you to death. He's playing a bit boring, but he's also making sure the entertainment. You saw the striking in the beginning of the round, and now he's really unleashing with that ground and pound.
I can state that Dave has prevented me from eating my pizza, which is downstairs, and getting cold. So, thank you, Dave. I'm hungry.
Those are the fight stats for round 3. One stun either way, 18 to 14 significant strikes into the favour of Dave. That's quite possibly 3-0 to Dave so far.
Yeah, definitely for Dave. It's just kind of been, it's not been domination, but he's just been doing everything that little bit better than Brady. Like, even with that, boom, He's in the cap
It's
once like
making
that.
the
As soon as he
reads,
makes
it's
a
making the
mistake.
adjustments at the right time, and that is what he's doing through and through here. Every time Brady whiffs, he's punishing him in a way that Brady can't really counter, and he's making sure that David isn't left open and exposed. Now getting another denial there. This is going to be some really dangerous territory. Sprawl again, working that body. Brady most likely going to go for a sprawl position instead, though. Goes to the half guard now, returning Dave back onto the top. But he's got the options to top man, he's got the option to side control. As we've seen so far, he's gone a lot to side control, so I probably expect that, although top mount is probably, if he can get to that position and hold it effectively, that's probably where you're going to see the fight finished here.
Yeah, well, British head help is at a position where he needs one top mount, he's getting knocked out. One good top mount, you know. If it's bad, you're obviously not going to get knocked out with that, but... Oh, no. Okay, so... But, Brady's head health is just dwindling and dwindling and dwindling as the fight goes on, and it's not getting any better from here, Doc.
It really isn't. He's now slowly working it down with the posture up, getting a couple of those significant strikes landed, and then posturing straight back down, playing it calm but safe. Gets denied to go in side control and gets met with a full guard transition. You have got rubber guard, but if you're Dirty Dave, you're going to be very used to denying that transition. So Brady's will do it. He's got to set up correctly. Doesn't get it, and now we see a stat guard attempt which gets denied here. Full GA into the favour of Brady, and he gets back up onto his feet. 1 minute 50 left on the clock here, Junior. You've got to imagine you're Dave, you're just going to cruise. You've got the stamina advantage. It seems like Poirier's got to really find any type of method to really dig deep to come out with the win here.
Yeah, but you can't sleep on Poirier. Oh, no, you can. You can if he gets knocked down. You can't sleep on him.
Well, that's
Dave is just
here, and now starting to
this
rain
could be it.
down shots. Lovely bit of blocking does get Dave out of the way of stat guard, but the head health is low. Does get the get up with a minute left on the clock. You got to imagine Dave is content with just letting this round finish before he pushes for another finish into the fifth round.
Yeah, well, he knows he's won this fight, and there's only like a 1 out of 10 chance that he loses this fight. So he needs to do what he can now to make it a 10 out of 10 chance. He needs to dwindle the body health more, make his stamina lower, just do everything he was doing throughout the fight, because he's just been doing everything very well.
Switch kick there lands, a hook also lands. Now decides to disengage from that position. Front kick lands at the very end, but with that, that is goes to the favour of Dave, I'm pretty sure. And now we enter into the final and fifth round, the Foam Championship round. This is the main event so far. Dave is up possibly 3 to 4 rounds so far. Brady's got to really push the pace, dig deep, but it looks like Dave has just done so much accumulated damage over the course of the last 5 that he's just slowly whittled and grinded Brady down.
Well, it looks like Dave was just about to get a 5-0 like decision or knockout, because he's just been doing everything so much better than Brady. First and second round, they were close, contested, but ever since that third round, he's just been doing everything so much more better than Brady, just because of the health stats and stamina advantage. He's just been using everything to his advantage, Doc.
He has been going very slow in his pace.
Wow.
Lovely little lead hook there, and here we go. Looking for the ground and pound, only just managing to survive. The head health barely, the barest of slivers. Now goes to get his nigh here, and it's just a steady pace. Looking to build that GA any way in which he can, and another ground and pound now going straight over into side control.
This could be dangerous.
Dave anywhere on the ground is very dangerous now. Looking for the side saddle position. The block could go very quickly if he doesn't get an arm trap here. Backside is an option with the stamina as low as the word stamina now. Poirier is got to really find any tried and true method he can to get out of the position and maybe hopefully survive. I don't know, but Poirier's got a hell of a fight to come back, and it's looking like it's going to be very difficult for him.
Oh, he's got the bulldog. Oh, no.
That's an impressive sub if he can do it. He's making some fantastic reads. The stamina is drained completely, but it's looking like the red bar is slowly creeping up. Good tracking so far, though, and it's looking like it's going to be very competitive as it goes on later. The red bar, though, sneaking up a significant amount. The blue bar, though, now hitting the halfway point. The escape bar, though, looking like it's going to be out.
It was a good attempt.
It was a very good attempt. Maybe a guillotine
attempt. That's another sub. Yeah.
That's a killer. Gilly is a very good submission overall. Even if you do not get it, you can normally get into top mount straight afterwards. If you pull the guard, you do have to make sure you get to the first straight though, just because it pulls the guard first and then it flips you over. Dave wanting to get that flipped into the second stage as that leg hooks over, but it's looking like he's not going to be able to get it. Jesus.
Wow. Did he make it be able to get the north side reversal? Yeah, he is.
Sprawl again, it goes for another Gilly, it doesn't get it, 20 seconds left, denies, and now with 15 seconds left on the clock, it's looking like Davies just trying to count out the clock here as he goes for another Gilly to secure the round.
That was just complete, not domination, but...
That was Dave.
Yeah, it was domination. I'm not gonna... Third, fourth, and fifth round was just all Dave. No offense from Brady, to be honest.
That was Brady trying his damnedest to get any bits and pieces down. He was trying to dig deep in any way which he can, and he just couldn't. And Brady did a fantastic job trying to play the defensive game, but Dave just like that, slightly bit better. Hopefully we get to see the stats here to close.
Yeah, you don't need to. Yeah, let's do it.
49 to 50, 45 to 50, 46 to 49 split decision was one round where Brady apparently got it. That was a hell of a fight across the board, though.
It was, because I don't know what round he won there, but probably won't round one or two, if I'm being honest. That was a really good night of fights. That
was a really good night of fights. You had the Jakey fight, of course, with the fundraising and Elsa's Eyes Army. Always great to support a cause like that with Terence McKinney. Then you had the fun prelims from top to bottom. You had to make some toasty toes. You had Humble Hayes making an appearance. You had the Great Miss fight. It was a fun card all around here, Looney.
Yeah, for sure, man. I want to take a couple of extra seconds just to once again massive shout out to BFAP Jakey, Terence, T-Rex McKinney. Make sure to show support to both those guys, the charity, of course. Show some love to T-Rex, man. That guy came through on a moment's notice, showed some love to the UFC 4 community. And if you haven't before, go back and check his interview from 2 months ago with Ariel Helwani, one of the most charismatic guys up and coming within the UFC, has a bright future ahead of him. So much love, everybody. Stay safe. We will see you tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. GMT. That is 3:30 Eastern for prime time, of course. Title of fights on the line. Until then, we're now going to be pushing the love forward to BFAP Jakey and his stream that he's currently got going, where he's going to continue the fundraising from LC's Aya Army. But until then, peace out, much love.